Welcome to the season where every run now counts as a trail run. Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Runnah, and welcome back to Shoe Eating Monster. I'm Juliana, and this week we are going to be talking about running in the winter, specifically like being grippy. I'm going to call this episode Welcome to Grippy Bitch Academy, because this is what we're going to be becoming today. But before we all become grippy bitches, go ahead and subscribe to the channel so that way you can be part of your favorite local running community. And also, I have an announcement that I have already reached my $4,000 fundraising goal for the London Marathon. So if you'd like to donate, I'll leave the link down below because we can always give more money to Team for Kids. They do so much amazing work. But I met my fundraising minimum, so huge thank you to everyone who donated. But this week, let's get into ways that we can be grippy on the road, on the trails when we are running, because one of my worst fears, which has obviously, if you've been here, manifested itself and will continue to manifest itself, is falling. Falling when running, specifically falling in general, but falling. But one of the best ways that we can prevent falling is having the proper shoes and having the proper accessories to go with said shoes. So that way we can be, like we said in the beginning, grippy bitches. Okay? We're going to be grippy bitches today, and it's going to be a nice time for all of us. Great. Wonderful. Thank you so much for coming here and being here with me today. First line of attack is kind of, we're going to give this levels. So there's going to be different levels to like what we can, like how grippy you can be and how high up on the totem pole you are amongst the grippy bitches. Level one is going to be a road shoe with like okay traction on the bottom. So I'm thinking like a Brooks, like a basic Saucony. Definitely not the Asics Nova Blast. Definitely not like some of the other shoes from Asics. But a shoe that's got like okay traction on it, like it's got road lugs. It's fine. Like you could probably take it on a gravel road. If there's any like essence of ice, you're probably going to be at least a little bit slippy and you're not going to have any kind of like actual gripping. I would not recommend this. This is not part of Grippy Bitch Academy. This is like level one before you even show up to the front door of the academy. Okay. Level two. This is where we're going to introduce our basic trail shoes. So I'm thinking things like the Saucony Peregrine, the Ultra Lone Peak, like tried and true trail shoes that have like decently good traction on the bottom. What you're going to get out of these is much better traction than the road shoes that you would typically use. And you're also going to get some lugs. So if there's any like sand or dirt or snow or ice, like you're going to get better traction on that, but it's not going to be like good traction. And if it's kind of wet, it's going to be better than the road shoes, but it's not going to be like good traction. So this would be my recommendation if you're just looking for a shoe that has like it rains once in a while where you are. You're not dealing with ice. You're not dealing with snow. Like you could get through snow, but if there's like an ice underlayer, this is the shoe that you want. This is definitely like your basic trail shoe. Like it can get you pretty far, but you're not really that grippy yet. Level 3. This is where we upgrade to shoes like this that have this on the bottom. Vibram. So you're going to upgrade to your level 3 when you start introducing the high stickiness rubber compounds. So these are going to include your Continental rubber, your Puma grip, and your Vibram. Those are like the 3 biggest ones that are going to show up on shoes for you. Vibram is very obvious. It has the little thing on the side usually here, and then you get the little like chevron looking thingy down in here. There's a big difference between, say, like a shoe like this with the Vibram on the bottom and a shoe like the Ultra Lone Peak that has the Ultra's proprietary blend of the Max Track, which Ultra does have some shoes that have Vibram on them, which I am like looking to get my hands on a pair of the Lone Peak 9s with the Vibram on the bottom. So stay tuned for that. But the Vibram rubber is a whole different animal. This is a whole different beast, a whole different animal. Same with the Puma Grip, same with the Continental rubber. This is the rubber that you're going to hear when you're inside, like sticking to the ground, like actively being like tick, 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 when someone is walking around on some kind of harder surface indoors. So this thing wants you to be stuck to the ground. This is going to be fantastic for when it's kind of wet outside, when there's just like a little bit of snow, or when you're trying to like just get around some like giant piles of snow and everything is all wet and gross and sandy. This is going to be your friend. These trail shoes that also have the Vibram on them, and granted, there are road shoes like the Puma Deviate or a huge number of shoes from Adidas that have the Continental rubber on the bottom. So you can get a road shoe that has these rubbers on the bottom. My recommendation for like winter running, I would probably just get the trail shoe, because you're going to have, one, more options, and two, I just find that I like having the lugs versus like not having the lugs. So, you know, it is what it is. So this is level 3, trail or road shoe with Continental rubber, Vibram, or Puma Grip on the bottom. Next upgrade you're going to make is we're going to take the shoe that has the Vibram on the bottom, and we are going to add onto it these bad boys. These sexy ladies. These, my friends, are ice spikes. As you can see, they are put around one of the shoes that you have. You can also get things like yak tracks, which I find I like better for the snow. So we're going to have 2 kind of versions of like strap-ons, shall we say, that you can put on your shoes. And I will preface this with, I personally like to put these on a shoe that has at least a partial plate in it and has some foam above and below the plate, because I find that if I wear a shoe that doesn't have a plate in it, I can really, really, really feel these things hitting into the ground when you hit like a harder rock or a harder surface or like a big chunk of ice, or like you're on the road for a little bit. I would recommend choosing a shoe that has a plate that runs about halfway through. You can go on a shoe's website, you can find it out, you can ask me, I'll tell you. And putting it on a shoe that has foam above a plate and then foam below. So that way you have a little bit more protection between you and the spikes. Because you'll feel these things. You'll feel them. And you'll definitely feel the yak tracks too. But 2 versions of strap-ons. So the first one we have is the one that's in my hands. These are the ice spikes. These are like little teeny tiny spikes that are in the bottom of the shoe. You have them on the front and you have them on the back. And these things are going to bite directly into the ice. These are your best method of like going anywhere if you're specifically dealing with ice. They will have a really hard impact on the ice and hopefully crack into them, which I did this morning and it was great. Grip in and then you keep moving. If you're on the road, you will feel these bad boys. It will give you a little bit of extra grip, but you are going to be really like slamming your feet into these bad boys right here. What they will not help with is snow. Snow that does not, specifically snow that is on a road, or snow that is so deep that when you step into it, there's still more snow beneath it. You'll kind of find yourself squidging out a little bit, because these are not formatted to catch the snow. They're not formatted to like give you grip in that scenario. So if you know you're going to be largely dealing with ice, this would be my recommendation, would be the ice spikes. If you are going to be dealing with snow, this is where we break out the all-wheel drive Croc. Welcome to the game, the all-wheel drive Crocs. These on the bottom of the all-wheel drive Crocs, these are for walking Myrtle. They're all-wheel drive because now they're casual sport mode, you know. And they also are fleece lined. These are old Crocs, okay, friends? No judgment. These are like 5 or 6 years old, but these work for dog walking, okay? Especially, and I only use them for a couple months out of the year. These yak tracks, these bad boys are something that is formatted like this. They have like little springs, and these catch the snow. They will catch the snow under here. You will grip in, and then you will get to push off, and you keep moving. They are able to be taken off and put on any shoe. Again, I would recommend the foam plate, foam format of the shoe to be the best and the least intrusive to your stride and also your running and also just you feeling these underneath. You will feel these when you hit a hard surface. Like they will be very prominent if you are running on like the ground and there's no snow underneath your feet or nothing soft like dirt. underneath your feet. These do okay on ice. They do okay. They are passable. They are not great. The ice spikes do better on ice. These do significantly better on snow. And that's why I like to have both options, because I can generally look outside and be like, okay, it's mostly ice with a little snow, or it's mostly snow with a little ice. So this would be mostly snow with a little ice. This would be ice with a little snow. So this is like level 4 of Grippy Bitch Academy. There is an elite level. There's an elite level of Grippy Bitch Academy. And I will say the Puma DB8 is doing the best job for demonstrating this for us. So as you can see, friends, we have the Puma shoe here. The Puma shoe has the Puma grip on the bottom. This is the same as Continental rubber. This stuff is really, really, really sticky and really, really, really tacky. This will be great if it's just kind of wet out. You will stick to the ground like nobody's business. You will feel these shoes biting the ground. It'll be a nice time. So we pick a shoe that has hopefully a really good sandwich ratio of foam. So we have the foam, plate foam. And then we are also going to pick a shoe that has Continental or the Puma grip or the Vibram rubbers on the bottom of the shoe. And then we are going to adorn it with our favorite and most appropriate shoe covering accessory. So ice spikes or some kind of snow tread / yak track. We are going to do that. What we can do is, to make this the elite level, is you can take these bad boys off. So what you can do, and I'm not going to take them off right now because I don't really feel like putting them back on again, is you can take these off mid-run. You're going to want to bring your running vest with you. And in the back of the pack, you're going to keep a big, like, gallon-sized plastic bag. Okay, gallon-sized plastic bag. So imagine we are out running. And during that run, the snow or the ice we'll say the ice for these all intents and purposes here, the ice melts, or you find a section of road that's kind of wet that you would like to run on, and it's not icy. So you don't need the ice spikes anymore. What you're going to do is you're going to take your gallon-sized bag, you're going to remove your ice spikes, you are going to then have your shoe that has the nice grippy rubber on the bottom, put that, like, keep it on your feet. You don't even have to take the shoes off. So you're going to keep the shoes on your feet, rip these bad boys off. You now have like the full, like, grippy rubber shoe on. There's no spikes on here. You're running on a section of road or trail that you don't need this for because it's just kind of wet outside. You take these off, you put them into your gallon-sized bag. We zip up the gallon-sized bag. This is so that way our back doesn't get wet and we don't get cold from that. We then put the ice spikes into the back of our pack. We zip it up and we be on our way. And you go about your day and you get to finish your run without having to worry, like, oh, are those spikes, like, slamming my feet into the ground? No, they are not, because you are wearing your pack, friend. And you have your ice spikes in the back of your pack. Elite level, right there. Right? Right. Well, I hope that you are now a Grippy Bitch and you have enjoyed being part of Grippy Bitch Academy. These are the thoughts that go through my head while I'm running. Like, and also me just being like, I think they also make like little ice, like little spikes that you can screw into shoes, not just like the cross country ones, but like ones that you can go and screw into like regular shoes, which now I'm thinking, I'm like, ooh, I got to get my hands on a pair of those and like screw those into like my DB8s or something, or some other trail shoe. What I'd ideally like to do is I'd like to get a pair of the Lone Peaks that have the Vibram on them and then screw the screws into the bottom of this thing if I can, because these have a rock plate in them too, and then be like the ultimate Grippy Bitch on the go. So stay tuned, friends. Stay tuned. But if you like being grippy and you enjoyed this, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And thank you all for watching this. And I will see you on the next episode of Runnah. And have a nice day. Get out there. Enjoy the weather, even if it's freaking freezing outside, and be a grippy bitch. That's right. Right? Right. Nom, 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 nom. Thank you for listening to this episode of Runnah. This podcast is edited, hosted, and produced by me, Juliana Coughlin. Brought to you in part by the Falmouth Running Club and the Falmouth Community TV station. If you'd like to connect with us, you can find us on Instagram and on TikTok at RunnahPod. And you can send us an email at runnahpod@gmail.com. And our original theme music was brought to you by the one and the only wonderful Jeffrey Hutton. And keep up the great work. I'm proud of you.